The Assembly of Christian Israelites Guide to Fasting by Enoch Bar-Zadok. Fasting is specifically commanded in several places in the Scriptures, and its prolific practice throughout makes it a scriptural practice required of followers of Yahuwah. The instances of fasting within the Scriptures are numerous and significant. Study 2 Samuel 12:21 through 23. 1 Kings 21, 9 and 12. 2 Chronicles 20, verse 3. Ezra 8:21. Nehemiah 9:1. Psalm 109:24. Isaiah 58, 3 through 5. Jeremiah 14:12. Yah hears our cry during fasting when we have a true heart and clear conscience. Daniel 6:18 and 9:3. Joel 1:14, 2:12 and 15. Jonah 3:5. Zechariah 8:19 establishes officially ritual fasting for the house of Yehudah. 1 Esdras 8:50 and 73. 2 Esdras 5:20, 6:31 and 35, 9:23 and 10:4. Judith 4:13 and 8:6. Baruch 1:5. Tobit 12:8. Matthew 17:21, Luke 5:33 and 18:12, Acts 10:30, 14:23 and 27:33, 1 Corinthians 7:5. There are many reasons a person needs to fast, but these can be broken into two categories, the most important of which is the need for purification of the spirit and for physical, mental health, and cleansing. The act of fasting affects our souls, minds, and bodies in ways that the medical field does not yet want to fully acknowledge, but which has been documented rather thoroughly. To cleanse your soul, clear your mind, detox your body, and regenerate physically, you must fast. I need only cite to the fact that Yeshua, our Messiah and King, fasted. In fact, he did a deep fast, Luke 4:1 through 13. This puts all Christians on notice that you are required to fast. We must emulate Yeshua in any way that we can, for he is our example. But before I get into the particulars of fasting, let me state clearly who should not fast. People who are extremely emaciated or in a state of starvation, those who are anorexic or bulimic, pregnant women, nursing mothers, those who have severe anemia, those with porphyria, a genetic metabolic defect that affects the body's ability to manage porphyrins, people with a rare genetic fatty acid deficiency that prevents ketosis from occurring, type 1 diabetics, people in any stage of kidney failure, anyone who has been exposed to high levels of the pesticide DDT, people whose hearts are functioning at 90% or less. Now on to the myths. For those who are concerned with dying during or after fasting, I assure you that you do not need to be concerned at all. There have only been 9 cases of death recorded in the literature in 125 years. 7 of those cases were persons suffering severe chronic disease conditions where death was inevitable. The other 2 cases occurred because the men ate heavy meals after a deep fast. Don't do that. There are 2 types of fasting that you can do. The first is a juice fast, where you drink only juice. The second is a water fast. I personally recommend them both for different reasons. The juice fast should be done to ease one into a full-on water fast, or for those who feel that they can't complete a water fast. The real fast, however, is the water fast. Every effort should be made towards completing at least one deep fast per year. A deep fast is a water fast that lasts for more than 7 days. Contrary to popular belief, you can fast for long periods. Fasts of 120 days have been recorded. Everyone but the starved has at least 40 to 45 days in them before the secondary hunger sets in, telling you it's time to eat. The bulk of this study on fasting will be on water fasting, so I will give a juice recipe and leave it at that for the juice fasting. 10 ounces hot spring water, 2 tablespoons fresh lime or lemon juice, 2 tablespoons pure organic maple syrup or organic wildflower honey, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne powder. Drink 6 to 12 glasses daily, more if desired. Spiritual detox. The incessant drone of the television and the continual sound and sight of technological civilization, the chatter that is continually bouncing around in our heads, these all fill us with distraction and take us away from Yahuwah. These are the things of the world. We are heavily cautioned not to love the world. To reset your spiritual connection to the divine, you must pray and fast. I recommend that you read the scriptures during your fast, because the will and mind of Yahuwah and all his kingdom mysteries lie within its sacred pages. For many of you, you might be far more interested in the physical side of fasting, which is okay. Yah will still make use of your receptive state, so here it is. Physical fasting and detox. Many amazing things happen to the body during a fast. Yahuwah has designed our meat suits, bodies, to allow for periods of plenty and periods of little. We benefit greatly from both. Fasting allows the body to detox and heal. During this time, the body moves into the same kind of detox cycle that it normally enters during sleep. Instead of using energy to digest food, your body uses it to expel accumulated toxins and to repair parts of the body that are injured or ill. As a fast progresses, the body consumes everything it can that is not essential to bodily functioning. This includes bacteria, viruses, fibroid tumors, and any buildup around the joints and stored fat. The result is that the body eliminates its toxin accumulation, just as during a fast, the emotional and spiritual bodies eliminate theirs. It is in the first 3 days of a fast that the most dramatic physiological changes occur. Normally, the primary form of energy the body uses is glucose, a type of sugar extracted or converted from the food we eat. Throughout the day, the liver stores excess sugar in a special form called glycogen that it can call on as energy levels fall between meals. There is enough of this glycogen to last 8 to 12 hours, and it usually is completely exhausted within the first 24 hours of a fast. Once the stores of glycogen are gone, the body then shifts into ketosis, ketone production, which is the use of stored fatty acids as fuel instead of glucose. This shift begins on the second day and is complete by the end of day 3. In the interim period, there is no glucose available, and energy conversion from fat is insufficient, but the body still needs fuel, so it accesses glucose from 2 sources. It first converts glycerol available in the body's fat stores to glucose, but this is still insufficient, so it makes the rest of what it needs by breaking down the amino acids in the muscle tissue, using them in the liver for gluconeogenesis, or the making of glucose. Don't panic. Between 60 and 84 grams of protein, muscle tissue, are used on the second day. That is roughly 2 to 3 ounces of muscle. Peanuts compared to the amount of fat that is consumed, as you will see. By the third day, ketone production is sufficient to provide nearly all the energy the body needs, and the body's protein, muscle tissue, becomes strongly preserved by the release of T4 hormone from the thyroid gland. This drops the catabolization of protein down to just 1 ounce of muscle per day for the rest of the fast. During a 30-day water fast, a person generally loses 1 to 2 pounds of muscle tissue. From the third day onward, the rate of the breakdown of fatty acids from adipose tissue, fat, continues to increase, hitting its peak on the 10th day. The 7-day period after the body has completely shifted over to ketosis is where the maximum breakdown of fat tissue occurs. As part of its protein conservation, the body seeks out all non-body protein sources of fuel, such as fibroid tumors, degenerative tissues, bacteria, viruses, etc. When the body begins using fat stores, they are consumed in reverse order. That is, the most recent fat deposits will go first. A person on a water fast will lose 5 pounds in the first 3 days, and then about 2 pounds of fat per day. On average, I lose 17 pounds every time I do a 7-day water fast. The presence of so many acidic ketones causes a shift in the body's delicate pH balance. This is how many viruses and bacteria are killed off, as they exist within our body and are adapted to our normal pH levels. Once these are dead, the body converts them to fuel as well. For overweight people reading this article or listening to this video, please take heed. There is no better way to shed weight. If you are fat, then fasting will give you results that would take 6 months of workouts to duplicate. And this method of weight loss puts much less strain on the heart, tendons, and joints. Fasting also affects your body's production of HGH, which is produced in the pituitary gland and converted in the liver to other growth factors such as IGF-1 and 2. HGH is short-lived in the body, so the liver converts it to IGF-1 as a more stable compound. HGH production along with testosterone drops steadily in men over 35, and fasting restarts production of both of these. To keep the IGF-1 stable, the body binds it to IGFBP, which is very stable. Fasting stimulates more than a 2-fold increase in IGF-1 binding protein. Levels rise from an average of 30 nanograms per milliliter to 340 nanograms per milliliter during fasting. The IGF-1 binding protein produced during fasting is much more potent than the one the body normally produces. All of this translates to the dramatic stimulation of muscle growth, lean tissue development, fat loss, tissue repair, and a dramatic improvement in overall brain function. It also increases bone strength, cell replacement, and sexual function. Many of the effects of fasting reverse the impacts of aging, one of the greatest of which is that it causes osteoblasts, which are responsible for new bone formation. Fasting therefore directly alleviates porous bone, osteoporosis. Fasting causes dramatic decreases in serum glucose, C-peptide, and proinsulin. So although insulin levels fall during a fast as the leptin levels decrease, the body's cellular sensitivity increases. For that reason, fasting has been found to cure all but the most severe cases of type 2 diabetes. Since most instances of type 2 diabetes are caused by weight gain in middle age, it is not surprising that as the weight comes off quickly, the diabetes goes with it. Fasting is the most powerful tonic for your pancreatic function and cellular health. Initially during your fast, your cholesterol and triglyceride levels in the blood will rise, even more so in people with cardiovascular disease. But by the end of the fast, these levels will be significantly lower than before you started the fast. They will stay lower for a long time, even if you return to a bad diet. The body during fasting will break down atheromas. This is the arterial plaque, which is nearly pure fatty cholesterol. The body breaks it down and transports it to the liver for use as fuel during ketosis. This is the primary reason for the spike in cholesterol levels during the beginning of the fast. The fasting process also allows your body to actually repair the walls of the arteries, which the atheromas were there to band-aid. All the studies show that during fasting, endothelial tissue heals significantly, and especially in those people with cardiovascular disease. This causes endothelial-mediated vasodilation increases, i.e., lower blood pressure. In studies, those with hypertension stage 3, over 180/110 experience average reductions of 60/17. All those who were taking blood pressure medications were able to discontinue it. Fasting has also been shown in studies to cure outright hypothyroidism. Thyroid hormone levels except T4 generally decrease during fasting. Thyroxine T4 levels normalize if they were low. T4 is important to the body's metabolic process. This has been a mere overview of the benefits of fasting. Now it is time to talk about the side effects during fasting. Dizziness upon standing, it fades. Confusion and mental fog as the brain shifts from glucose to ketones, it will pass within 2 to 4 days. Cold extremities, nausea, it will pass, drink more water. Headaches, these can be brutal if you're a caffeine user. I advise you to wean yourself off the caffeine prior to beginning your fast. Coated tongue and bad breath, this is common and will last the whole fast. Strong urine color and odor, your body is voiding its toxins. Metallic taste, this is from the ketones and will last the whole fast. Lower or feeble pulse, this is from the lowered blood pressure, it's normal. Severe gout, this only happens if you drink less than 2 cups of water a day. Drink more than that. Localized joint, muscle, and bone pain, this is the body repairing injuries and will most likely pass. Finally, fasting combined with prayer will be an intentionally spiritual act which opens us up to touch the sacred. It opens deeper realms of the self to our inspection and allows us to sharpen our capacities of perception and allows us to connect with Yahuwah and realize our appointed purpose in His will. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. I hope you enjoyed this reading of the Assembly of Christian Israelites Guide to Fasting. If this has helped you, please continue to visit our site, www.acitruth.org, frequently for more information. Also check out our TikTok, A.C.I. Truth.